and welcome back. Thank you very much for participation. I hope I'm audible. I will check that element on my side. Okay, seems like everything is running. Let's check the Zoom. Zoom should be working as well. Okay, yeah. So just some technical elements in here, and let's run this show. Hi Tina, nice to see you. Yeah, so great. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. Thank you very much for the participation in the event. Thank you very much for confirming that everything is working, so we can run the show. And before that, I would like to thank some special forces, if you can say, that guided me here, because I feel I've been guided not only by God that is guiding all of us, but I've been searching the truth and more information about Jesus, and Jesus brought me here really to tell you how much he have left for us, which is still unknown, how much he's passing on permanent basis through either his messengers or the ones that he is highlighting us, the ones that can pass the message to others. So I've been blessed, I feel blessed to be in here with you, and this journey for me as well was quite long one, really, to land with this type of community, with the tribe, with a community that is focused around spirituality. And I'm trying to really navigate you through things that I'm discovering on now daily basis. But today I would like to focus on something that for some of you might be something totally new, for some of you it might be something that you already heard about, and for some of you it might be something that you will just update your knowledge on. And today, as you see, we have two topics. First topic that is in line what we are doing is this human hero's journey. The second one will be the path of chakras, and why I want to make a specific split between those two initially right now is because those are two major elements as well that brought me here. So first one being this human journey is the element that really was working for me, for my journey for a long time without me knowing it. I participated in lots of programs, and for me this was not something that I connected to anything else just beside participating. And this element is key, along with the chakras, to unlock what we are doing just in this webinar. So what I wanted to show you first is the plan that I have for this webinar and future webinars. I'm planning to have this specific topic for about 11 weeks. We will check how it goes, how long it will last for this initial part, how long it will last for the other parts. But basically I'm planning to have kind of 12 modules in here. Second one is, it will be around 1 hour to 1 hour and a half, not to exhaust you or me fully, just to have time for drinking something, for really eating something later on, for having some evening if you are in European time zone, for having some night or day sleep if you are outside the European zone, maybe in US. So another element is that I want to show you the outline, what the hero's journey is all about. Additionally, what you probably already concluded based on the invitations that we've sent, we want to show you maybe new perspective on chakras, or maybe the perspective that you already know, but this knowledge about chakras as well as guided knowledge. So for me, this knowledge about hero's journey and chakras basically is very much connected to the meditation practice that I've been blessed to have. So, but that will be later on. Additionally, I want to show you those concepts as well, basing on my life, on how it went through those stages, how it reached all those elements that we highlight in here. So hero's journey and chakras outline. Additionally, I want to show you an interesting concept that as well I've been blessed to have on my end. It landed on me, it really resonated with me. It's the concept of connecting those two elements. You will see what those are all about, and I will try to explain it today, how I see this initial connectivity, because besides this initial connectivity, I started to see much more connectivities in this, let's say, pipeline of things that started to land. But I will show you this initial one that was, for me, something that I wanted to share with all of you for this spiritual growth. So additionally, why those 11 weeks? Because this standard version of how many chakras we have says it's 7. This concept is the standard one. There is as well a version where we have 11 chakras, or the major ones, and a lot more if we consider the minor ones as well. But we will focus in here, in this journey, on the 7 chakras, and what I want to plan on the end, like the last meeting, the last webinar, will be both this hero's journey and chakra stories, mastermind slash master heart, because I was looking for something that would resemble that we are not necessarily only working on mental level, but as well we are working on this higher spiritual level, on heart level. So this is something that is planned. And what is the roadmap of what we are doing in here is basically today, so week 1, we will focus on just outlining both concepts of this human hero's journey, how I see it, how it landed for me, and outlining as well the chakras from the perspective that I've been blessed to be given to have, to just show you those two concepts. And I will show you as the last part this initial connectivity points that I found, and this is kind of like a module number 3. Next week's, as you see in here, it will be about those other elements that I want to connect. So one of them is just really to show you in practical way how this hero's journey landed on my story in terms of health, wealth, parenting, some mental games that have been running in my mind, as well in terms of how I've been guided, how this guidance that was basically settled in the head started to convert to some other aspects, to really enabling myself, permitting myself, or permitting this higher self to really guide me, and to really guide me not necessarily outside the religion, but as well with the religion as this foundation really to grow. It's about just reaching the new level, because there are so many angles that you can land in spirituality. Religion is one of the angles, but as well as self-development, meditation, those are additional angles that can bring you just in here, just in this very space. So additionally, for similar perspective, I would just put this chakras journey out of my story. And as you see in here, there are those other weeks that we will follow specific chakra, and basically we will try to unveil what this chakra is about, why it is interesting really to get to know this concept of chakras, and why really they are not some nicely colored lotus flowers that are said to be parts of our body, which we'll check later on what are those concepts, what are those perspectives, but as well the important connectivity to how we behave, who we are, physical aspect, mental aspect, spiritual aspect, energy flow, things like this, emotions. It's everything is really condensed in those elements that we will explain later on. So just moving to module number 1, and this classical hero's journey. In here you see that this concept is already has some time span. Already it functions for some time. This book that this concept bases on, it's a hero with 1,000 faces. It has been published in 1941, and what is interesting is that when you write the title or write this hero's journey or classical hero's journey or hero with 1,000 faces, most of the time you can receive the response that is one of the best kept secrets of Hollywood. Why is that so? Most of the times, and as you see in here, it is one of the best frameworks that can be used in a movie to make the movie exciting, to just have pivotal moment for the hero, to have like helping forces, to have the moments of transformations, the moments of fight, the moments of flee, the moments of these magical flights from the dangerous situations. All these things that happen in those movies, they as well can be really converted into how this classical hero's journey has been outlined. So as mentioned in here, this framework, and it's highlighted by George Lucas, he used this concept in all of the Star Wars episodes, in all of the Star Wars movie, all those steps that we will outline in here. So just to move to just this first stage, because this whole classical hero's journey is divided into 3 stages, as you see in here, maybe with this stage 0 on the beginning, stage 0 being really the status quo, so the situation as it is for the hero. Nothing new is happening, the life progresses without any significant challenges. It's just, you know, our safety zone, our this place where we want to just stay. It's comfortable, the comfort zone for all of you. This concept is quite resonating, but in here, those other stages, the departure stage, the initiation stage, the return stage, those are the stages that usually the hero needs to go through to really just grow, self-develop, and establish not only the growth of his own identity, but as well establish the growth of the whole environment that he can impact while developing himself. So just moving to this stage 1, which is the departure, it's split into this 5 sections. I will discuss each and every section that we have in here. So first one is call to adventure, second is refusal of the call, third one is supernatural aid, fourth one is crossing the threshold, and the fifth one is belly of the whale. So this whole cycle, let's say, is consisting of 5 elements, is this departure element. So when the hero begins his journey. So what is so special about this first step of this initial stage, the departure stage, is the call to adventure. So really, like in lots of stories, because Joseph Campbell based on lots of mythological stories, lots of Western stories, lots of Native American stories, lots of stories from Middle East, Far East, all of those he found kind of pattern that worked not only for him, but as well worked for lots of the ones that then read all those elements. So as you see in here, some links are needed in this very moment for the hero to start his journey, like a stupid careless mistake that unveils the new world, and sometimes those careless or stupid mistakes, they are just the reflection of really the suppressed desires and conflicts, which later on might resonate a bit with chakras. But in here, this concept is showing that this hero has something to do, has something to update, has something to self-develop, and this as well, this those desires and conflicts, they usually they ripple on the surface of life. So really they not only exist, but they repeat, they are seen, and in some of the concepts, some of the stories that have been brought in here, it's mentioned that usually there is analogies to kind of springs that are quite deep, in the sense of really unknown, dark, unreachable, things like this. And this initial step for the character is to reach out, to just take this first step that is outside these regular steps that he has been taking for a long time already. So something new starts to happen, and as it is mentioned as well, is usually this step is considered as opening of destiny. Quite often, and that is as well this aspect that I will as well expand on while I'm talking about my story in next week, is that usually there is a refusal of the call. Just to highlight you a bit this aspect for me that resonated so well, around 5 years ago I tried to set up something called Human Portal. It was meant to be, I had like really some inspiration to do it. It was a place where all religions would merge, really, to just establish the union of all, to just show that we are all the same, things like this. But this unity, this unity in spirituality, but I didn't have enough tools, I was not sure enough, I didn't have self-confidence, and I just set up the domain, just set up some basic elements, but I couldn't run it. And this refusal returned while I started to participate in programs, and returned in this very community as well, where I start to pick up this concept and put it on another level with much more awareness of what I want to achieve, much more awareness of being guided, of letting God and masters and Jesus really to guide me through this realm, to deliver what I want to deliver, the best to my abilities and the best to your needs as well. So as you see in here, sometimes this is the journey of refusal, and then it turns into negative journey where the character becomes a victim and needs to be saved. But sometimes it's the delaying factor for the character to really pick up this topic later on. Sometimes it gets reminded about the topic because what he pursues in the very moment when he refused the topic, those things start to crack, those things are not working, and he's looking for solution, like looking for really aspects for having more income. He's looking for things like this, but he does not know that this refusal of the call might have been the blocking factor for him. Not necessarily he's doing the right thing, the wrong things in his pursuit to really grow, but he refused something that was a clear winner for him. So as well, this is this refusal of the call that you might connect to really not only staying in the safe zone, but staying in ego, staying in this identity that wants to be still, this identity that has the system of ideal virtues, goals and advantages, and it wants to make it fixed, make it secure, because the security, this set of fears that we have is one of those aspects that as well is really interesting for this whole journey, and for going out of this journey. So as next step, usually there is kind of supernatural aid. It's as I mentioned, usually connected to all those stories that have been analyzed by Joseph Campbell, but as well in here you can see some hints of really what is happening, because supernatural aid, it's not necessarily Yoda from Star Wars or some other character from the movies, from the fantasy movies, from action movies, from anything else, but it might be your spiritual guide, it might be the book that you read, it might be the event you participated in. Like for me, I was participating in trading event when this the one that was providing the event, the trainer, really guided me to a book called Conversations with God, which as well started to resonate with really my spirituality, started to really open me up for saying, okay, I see this text as really not conflicting with anything that I see, and I'm resonating really with the reality that I already observed myself. So those elements happen sometimes really in the context of some other people, in the context of reaching out to certain books. Sometimes you are searching for a certain book on Amazon and you find something related, and you just click, it's cheap, you take it, and later on you find that it's so brilliant, that is so interesting, and that it resonates so much with your way of thinking. Sometimes, of course, it's a algorithm from Amazon, because as well, you know, side effect of being cybersecurity architect is that I know as well that those algorithms analyze what you are searching for, but sometimes you are given those clues, you are given those paths. Additionally, it might be this protective figure that you have, and this protective figure might be either your relative, either maybe your boss, who is out of nowhere spiritually focused, or out of nowhere has really the task for you that is giving you this growth that you've been waiting for. Sometimes it's your family member that is struggling in certain aspect, but still wants to protect you. Sometimes it's your father, it's your mother, but sometimes it's someone that you've met recently and is resonating with you. And adventurer is sometimes provided with protective amulet, with gifts. In this sense, in here, it's those gifts usually are for those situations that might happen. So if the character decides to go this way, he not only has this additional help, but as well is really guided by the helping forces. As you see in here, usually when the character decides to go further, he needs to pass some thresholds really to grow, to prove himself worthy for the task. Usually, as well, those thresholds have some guardians, have some, you know, like creatures in the mythology, like maybe as well in normal reality, it's your boss that is really forcing you to say no to this work, to say yes, I want to create my own business. Sometimes it's as well this that you are getting pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed, and then you land in the moment that you decided, you had courage really to go further. And this as well is really focused as well on really focusing of opening those limits that a hero's present identity has. It's as well going into darkness, unknown, so perceived danger, because head is so formulated, and we've been blessed really to have super mentor in that aspect in one of the programs that explained that head is hardwired really to search for threats, hardwired in terms of like 2-to-1 threats versus the creativity that each and every one that starts to create is already can be considered brave enough really to just go against what head usually say, and this is as well as explained in here. Sometimes it's in the context of, let's say, a child. For the child, usually this safety zone, this danger is outside this protective perspective of a parent. So if child is outside without parent, this is already kind of a hero's journey for this child. As well, if you lose the protection of society, as well, is one of those elements when you go against what's really publicly spoken. If you have new ideas, if you are challenging some things, you are as well trying to pass those thresholds as well that are really there to help you grow. And this aspect, as you see as well, requires courage. And courage, as we've been explained as well, courage is from the core. Core is heart. So heart is this center where really the courage comes from. And as well, this in the aspect of what we are doing here in the tribe and explaining here is as well going beyond the only sensual perception. So going out of the vision, smell, taste, feeling, hearing, all those basic senses and those additional senses that you can find, the sense of gravity, sense of time, just focusing on really going to next version of you, as probably some of you as well heard this term, that this is about self-development, but growing into unknown. Additional element, and the last one is in here, it's so-called the belly of the whale. Why this is called this way? This is in couple of contexts. One is this is a symbol of passage of some magical thresholds. Lots of times in those stories, belly of the whale was the point where this additional character elements were really growing. As well, this is transit into a sphere of rebirth. So as well, this is kind of a womb for just rebirth into your new self. And as well as you see worldwide womb image as well, and as well, this is this being swallowed into unknown, being dead, or really undergoing metamorphosis, like in case of as well some animals, the metamorphosis from caterpillar to butterfly, those type of elements as well, and it's as well going into some realm where you reach something that really you will then carry on. And as well, what has been highlighted in here, no creature can attain higher existence without ceasing to exist. Not necessarily by dying, by ceasing to exist in certain identity. As for human beings, for animals it's a bit different, but for human beings, the identity that you have taken until this very moment needs to shift, needs to pivot, needs to cease to exist, to give the space for your new identity. Next stage in here is this stage called initiation. So it has as well 6 elements. The other one had 5, this one has 6. So this one is about the whole initiation process for this new reality. It's already in the unknown. So this is this road of trials, the meeting with goddess, woman as temptress, atonement with the father, apotheosis, and the ultimate boon. Boon meaning the gift that the hero receives, or this elixir. So first, this road of trials. So really in here, this road of trials works in a couple aspects. So it's as well highlighted in the sphere of mind. So mind fears, darkness of those fears, going really and verifying those fears and saying, okay, those fears have no validity anymore. Maybe they had before, but they are no valid. Spiritual labyrinth, it's as well this way of just reaching the spirituality, and as well going in spirituality when you already landed in spirituality, as well growing and finding new ways really to expansion, new ways not only outside but as well inside. The main element in here is that hero is supposed to survive those succession of trials, and usually this is natural process. And in here as well, those elements that he receives, those gifts, those amulets, those gifts in terms of competence, like maybe trading on crypto market, trading on the stock exchange, so that even if you lose job, you just have additional tool that can help you really drive through this way, in different way, to have some more space. Additionally, in here, quite often hero discovers that there is some external force that enables him really to grow. When he's more conscious, he starts to see kind of patterns that help him, kind of maybe in terms of monetary values, some new income sources, so unexpected incomes that he receives, some unexpected gains that he was not expecting. Things like this happen, and he is more and more conscious of what that this purpose, that this choice is not only supported by himself, but he is guided into doing something more, and he is helped even more. So additional element in here is that this is as well for self-purification. So just in karmic aspects, maybe some of you as well, are aware of those karmic aspects. It's to clean up those elements that were not functioning or were not intentionally actioned, activated, shown, and purifying those, going out of those maybe limiting beliefs, things around those aspects, and then dissolving those, transcending them, and transmuting those usually infantile images of our personal past, and really saying that's why so often you see as well in relation to this point, so often you see when you have someone that the coach with psychology background, he usually wants to lend you back in your childhood to verify what elements from this childhood really can still block you from going farther. Usually those elements are quite important. Additionally, in here, after breaking those barriers, it's this meeting with goddess, but what it really is about, because the title itself might not say everything, probably it might be more blurry than what's inside, is one, it might be considered as a prize when all barriers have been overcome. Second is this symbolic mystical marriage of hero soul. So just this connection when soul says, okay, you passed this threshold. As well, this is a space, maybe in spiritual terms, where someone will really as well see that not necessarily what he achieved is really this achievement in mental aspects, but as well it's the achievement that he can return to, but as well this achievement that he can confront, like in here you see confronting the minds and body blocked desires, that he can then really transpose into seeing what was blocking him, just really as well enable others to show them that it's possible. This is as well one of the elements that might be very good idea if you are considering really to show something to someone, because as well this is this hero journey until this point, it shows you, okay, I have I conquered this aspect, I can share this knowledge as your expertise, for instance. So additionally, you see that in here this is as well this concept of really mentioning creation, preservation and destruction, because it's reflecting back to how life works. It's being created, it's being maintained, and it's being closed, really. This is as well this aspect. And additionally, goddess in here is mentioned in the context of this ultimate gift that someone receives, his life and life purpose as a gift, the gift of love to win the life itself. Additionally, what in here mentioned, and it's nothing bad, it's just taken out of this symbolic elements in mythology, is a woman as temptress. But what it means specifically behind the scenes, not necessarily in textual form, it's that this mystical marriage that we saw in previous element is this total mastery of life, and woman in here symbolizes life. It's not a personified, it symbolizes life, and hero in here symbolizes the knower and the master. Hero and father are one, because in here the hero already returned to his capabilities, already lands in his consciousness, and as well he sees those other elements like failure to cope with a life situation, because he already saw something, he already has been blessed, has been enlightened, but he is not able really to cope, to really transpose this into how he should behave, how he should translate the things he knows to the realm that he sees really to start to be brought into. As well, in here it's as well a relation to wars, to regrets that life someone brings, this makeshifts of ignorance in terms of war, there's illuminations that come too late in terms of regrets. But what is quite interesting is that this is this journey of this constant growth, hungry, pure soul. It's as well in those lines that the soul wants to show us really what the life is all about. And this last point in here, if I remember, no, not yet. And so this point with father, which is additional one, is a bit different perspective, not necessarily the one of woman, mother. This is about this angry face, or this limiting beliefs connected to father. So this angry God that does not promise anything, does not have any obligations, and is holding us with his hand from falling into fire, and he can just make us fall in every moment. So this as well is not only to say, okay, God is bad, as we see sometimes in our daily stories. We tend to say that some bad things happened, but subconsciously we see that those bad things that are happening might be something that is needed something that can be considered as you as well see that this is grace of God. And what as well is mentioned is that considering that all rests well in God, all is God, and all is created on permanent basis, this is especially varied and especially interesting when you consider why you are afraid of anything that is happening. That is as well this element that is important. And the last point in here is that this is the place where usually this abandonment of attachment to ego itself happens. So going from that point to seeing here is that this apotheosis, this culmination moment where really the hero already knows, like this Om Mani Padme Hum, the jewel is in the lotus. The hero starts to recognize some of the elements. He starts to recognize the jewel of eternity in birth and death. He is enlightened. He starts to see union in himself. He sometimes in here as well those male and female aspects show up, but really in terms of showing how they interconnect, how they are important to work together. And additionally, there is as well highlight on this battlefield, which battlefield is the main battlefield, the battlefield that is all about. It's about this psychological battlefield, mental battlefield, not necessarily the one that bases on the geographical location. And as well those elements about seeing the Lord within, so really as well this way of finding your own strengths, meditating, finding that when you stop talking, start listening, if you close your eyes, then another world opens up for you. That is as well this highlight in here. And additionally, this highlight of really that in this moment, all those elements that are in here can be either started or moved or animated further by life wish or death wish. Those two elements are usually the wheels that start to spin later on. And when everything happens until this point, this ultimate boon, so this ultimate gift happens for this hero, and it gives couple of elements, couple of key elements, couple of key golden nuggets, prizes, elements of achievement, like this destruction of the inside, but this old version, reborn of the inside, or healing the inside. So this reborn or healing, those are those elements that are quite important in here. Additionally, you see as well that this creator, preserver, destroyer, those elements, as in Hindu tradition, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, this is the concept that is in this tradition, is brought into the elixir of life, because all those elements interconnect and are important really to progress with life. On certain elements you have to create some elements, preserve them, but destroy some other elements that will give space for growing these new elements. This is as well about this aspect of us. And as well, this is really about going out of these personal limitations, just going into this sphere of ever expanding realization. Because if you land on this path, if you really start to feel you are guided, if you start to see those gifts you receive, if you start to be conscious of those gifts, you start to ever expand. It's not only self-development, it's ever expansion. And that is this step when usually this elixir can be taken back. And there are some of the endings, because usually it might be the ending in here which might be valid. One is refusal of the return, other is magic flight, another is rescue from without, 15 is crossing the return threshold, being master of two worlds, and freedom to live. One of those endings, one of those types of conclusions is this concept of refusal of return. So really after this transformation, this hero might refuse to go back to normal reality. He refuses really to go back and show his development and adapt this new development to this reality that he needs to exist in, with this runes of wisdom, with this knowledge, and as well in this context of really returning to renew the community, the nation, the planet, the worlds, and sometimes this gift is kept to the hero himself. As on the spiritual path, you can see that sometimes it's considered that in those layers of spiritual worlds, the physical, the astral, and the causal world as well, there might be a journey up, but there might be a journey to the next stage, and to the next stage, but from the last stage as well back, but in conscious manner. But sometimes it's just way up. So this might be as well in here quite interesting from this aspect of this spiritual growth, that some of the masters, it's as well in those Hindu holy books, and as well in what Paramhansa Yogananda presented in the book called not only the autobiography of Yogi, where he highlighted those elements, but as well in the book called Second Coming of Christ, where he took the holy text basing on King James Bible, and he started to meditate on those elements, and started to meditate as well with ask for help from Jesus to interpret it for him, not to bring any of his own interpretations, but just to bring the exact meaning that needs to be shown. This is so profound, and this is showing as well what path Jesus did take, and this context for as well Christians, that really showing this physical aspect, transcending the physical aspect, showing the spiritual aspect, is one of the biggest keys that we've been given, and as well being aware, being cautious that Jesus went from this highest aspect to really show us the path is something as well that resonated with me very much while really as well doing all those videos, and just growing, just as well being here, growing for you, and growing for myself as well in our community. The other element is this magic flight as well. You see in movies like Star Wars, like any great Hollywood movies, that usually there will be this very situation where this hero runs, he really goes out of this circumstances that where the danger, he destroys this enemy. Sometimes we can consider he just destroyed his own identity, ego, from this shadow that is appearing for some of us, and he returns in glory with elixir, being not only the physical elixir, but usually wisdom, usually some experience, usually the thing that you can pass to others, the thing that you can share, and as well is to restore the society. And in here as well, this supported by all powers of supernatural patron, this transformation flight, or if the hero is really doing things against what has been planned, let's say, or is working against really his self-development, it might be the pursuit or loss of the gift. So this will be this obstacle flight that he has. So additionally, a hero in here might be rescued because sometimes he refuses to go back, but the reality is showing him that he can really be back from the world, and is this delay that happens. It's life's call that happens. So additionally, those elements about crossing the return threshold, so from higher dimensions to human dimension, back into darkness, back into the physical reality, to the lower kingdom, and this lower kingdom and all the kingdoms being actually one of the many dimensions in one dimension, and additionally this loss of personal individuation, and when he returns, sometimes there are those thresholds that they rationalize those gifts, and those gifts for others are known entity, nothing of a value, and this hero again might have some additional needs for those hero journeys to refresh what has been happening, refresh himself as well, really explain those three-dimensional three-dimensional things into two-dimensional aspects, those multi-dimensional meanings into three-dimensional image. So additionally, it's sometimes hard to explain to others how those things that the hero discovered work, because they might base only on senses, and this message that hero received is given by all generating parallel existence and non-existence, which can simply be translated into God, higher consciousness. Additionally, this other ending might be that he will be the master of two worlds, so he will be the ideal messenger between those two aspects, guiding from one side those that are struggling in physical aspects, and those that are really in this spiritual aspects, or really just to show those in physical aspect that they have some values that they can discover in themselves. And he stays as the one that knows. He stays as the one that is so firm in what he discovered that nothing can contaminate what he has brought here to message on. As well, you see in here that sometimes what it's meant is this transfiguration of the Christ in front of Peter, James and John. What was this about was that Jesus showed them this blissful body, this shining self, when they saw that he is the one, really just to show them that he is existing in both worlds at once. As well, Bhagavad Gita is when Krishna is said to be an incarnation of Vishnu, the universal God in Indian culture, is revealing as well this immutable self to Prince Arjuna before the battle that is happening in Bhagavad Gita, and showing really that he is the support, he is the decision maker for how this battle will happen. He is the bearer of all those experiences, all the responsibilities that happen in there. And as well in here it might be considered as this aspect of cosmic man or cosmic woman. And the last one is this freedom of life, freedom to live. So this battlefield as a symbolic battlefield of life, affecting individual consciousness with the universal will. So being guided and do without attachment the work you have to do. This aspect that as well resonates quite often with what we are talking about, freeing yourself from longing and selfishness, and calm and being free in action. So this is this last element from this hero's journey that is really a very interesting aspect. I highly advise that all of you that want really to discover not only how this hero's journey works, but as well to discover how you can explain your story. If you want to pass the message to someone else, to just what elements should be in the story. Already there are the books about it that explain this, that make use of it. The books like from Russell Brunson, The Expert Secrets, where he mentions as well the hero two journeys. One, this hero, this way of achievement. Second, of the transformation. So those highlights that we saw in here. So I highly advise that you really check this Hero with 1,000 Faces by Joseph Campbell, and really discover those things on your own. There are lots of as well stories from different excerpts from mythology, from religion, from different cultural stories that happen in different parts of the world. So it's highly advised. But additionally, this other module that I want to as well disclose today, and this module that we promoted a bit more even than this initial one, but both are quite important in what I want to show you on the end, is the concept of chakras. So for some of you, this concept is quite known. This concept is the concept that you are already practicing. You know what is taught about chakras. You practice yoga, you practice meditation. In yoga, meditation, the chakras are one of the elements that the focus is on. That there are lots of benefits highlighted in terms of chakras. But in here, I wanted to give you some as well background that can give you out of the concept of chakras, because if we consider like this physical aspect, it might be considered concept by some that didn't experience yet how they work and that they work, is that really right now scientists and philosophers, they had the great difficulty to accept and explain the existence of chakra. I will show on the next slide something that has been shown and interesting, but in here I want to as well show you a couple of angles that already are highlighting their existence in this physical aspect, this scientific aspect. There are some questions if they are part of the physical body, so where they are. The surgeon cuts the body open and he cannot find the chakras. He can find only flesh and bones and spinal cord, yeah, which sometimes it's hard to say what's inside besides the fluid. And additionally, the angle is okay, if not in physical body, then maybe in subtle body. But subtle body is not the subject of modern anatomical science yet. There are no tools, let's say, maybe no tools in daily usage that can really resonate with subtle body, but in here there was quite interesting explanation when I was preparing in one of the books. There was like an explanation that is given by a monk to someone that really questioned the chakras and their functions, and this monk already was aware of them being and working, is that if you can show the sound waves in transistor radio as well. He asked, okay, can you even further show me the specific BBC waves that are really right now being transmitted? So this is interesting, but from scientific perspective, Dr. Hiroshi Motoyama from Japan, he invented some sensitive machines for measuring vital energy of the body. He invented two types of those machines. First type, it was the machine that as well has been used in Japanese hospitals to diagnose disease tendencies before they manifest. So really they were measuring energies in certain points and finding the spots that have been weaker, like this blind spots, these dark spots, these spots that had less energy, which potentially indicated some further problems in that aspect. And that's as further told by some other masters, is that usually on energetic body, the things that are happening there, they in the future will happen in physical body. So, and usually not the way around. So if physical body is already having some problems, having some deficiencies, usually the energetical body might be to some degree out of balance. Additional type was this chakra machine, where this recorded impulses that emanate from the psychic centers in the spinal cord, as well to register what is happening on permanent basis, how this highway that spinal cord is works and how it navigates everything that is happening. This is this take on really what has been in 1927 by Charles Leadbeater in the book The Chakras, showed us the likely locations of those chakras and chakras endings. In here you see that it's already the seven chakras endings, and it was supposed to be related to nervous plexus. So in the back, in the belly, the solar plexus, chest, throat, here the third eye, and the top of the head. This is this initial perspective of showing where those chakras are, And as well, this perspective of really going into what are those specific chakras attributes, showing what is specific about those chakras in terms of the Sanskrit texts, in terms of the yogi tradition, in terms of Tantra as well. This highlights as well this functionality of chakras, colors of the chakras. They have different colors. We will show you the colors later on. They have different symbols. In yoga and Tantra symbolized by lotus flowers with variable number of petals around. They have this mantra, so really saying or sound or kind of music around this specific chakra, specific situations that are related to this chakra, and range of experience. In here, this lotus symbol is quite significant from the perspective that it symbolizes those three stages of spiritual life: the ignorance, the aspiration, and endeavor, and illumination. Ignorance, in relation to the lotus flower, it starts in the mud, then it grows through water to reach surface, and then when it reaches the air and direct light of the sun, the process is concluded. Additionally, what has been highlighted are those functions of chakras. So chakras, from all those texts that consider chakras, from masters, from yogi tradition, from Sanskrit texts, from those perspectives that are reachable right now, they are considered the control centers. The control centers for interchange between physical, astral, and causal dimensions. So really, not only these energy centers, but as well like connectivity to your higher self, to really those other levels of yourself, like in dream and out in theta phase. You might consider those the elements that exist in here. They are as well this transformations of energy, or transformers of energy from higher level into physical energy, and then as well they are considered to have possibility of transforming the physical energy into subtle energy. So they have all those elements inside, and they as well can be considered this intermediaries for energy transfer. So if you consider the standard division of how energy flows from top to bottom and then up, this constant flow of energy, so from top to bottom and back up, to really just fuel us with this pranic energy, they are the intermediaries, so like junctions for energy. And junctions as well, in the interesting context that maybe I will add, is that what I already explained in the group is that as well they have specific colors attached, and the specific colors are usually like colors from prism, and this energy is considered light. So really they those elements, those chakras, they might be as well considered to have this specific color for a specific organ, for specific really purpose to regenerate the body. They as well facilitate energy conversion between body and mind, and if activated, awakened and balanced, they might be your highway really to higher realms of existence. It's not necessarily you will instantly disappear, but you will start to be more and more aware of your spiritual self. You will start to search more and more for your spiritual aspect, for growing, for really recognizing that there is something more. And it as well is a pathway for Kundalini, so this life energy that is as well mentioned in the yogi scriptures as the energy that flows. And why the pathway? Because as well the pathway needs clear flow, so this is as well interesting aspect for this. Awakening of the chakras as well. This is the perspective of is often talked about, is how you can awaken them, how you can balance them, how you can keep them really in good condition for you to really work properly on all levels. This awakening is one of the keys really to change your consciousness and mind, but really improve it, make it more sharp, make it more focused, make it really to work the mind to work in line with this higher consciousness, not against it, not really to focus on this ego. As well to show that as well mind on its own is not capable of handling all the affairs of life. Suffering, agonies and frustrations are usually responses of our mind. Starting to notice these subtle things of life, on the other hand, is really when these chakras are awakened. The frequencies of the mind change, it grows. Every form, sound and color has certain frequencies, so you will start to resonate with even with different people, with people that resonate with you. You can sometimes recognize those type of people when you enter the new area and you just meet instantly. You feel that you can talk with them like they were your old friends, and this is as well quite in line of what is happening in here. And this higher qualities of love, compassion, charity, mercy, expressions of the mind, they are all influenced by the awakened chakras. So to have more of those elements, you have to as well try to align those chakras, try to awaken them, try to put them back into balance. And this is what I will show you as well, what I concluded, not necessarily about the topic of chakras, but something interesting, something that really have been given for me or to me, or I've been able with this knowledge as well in deep meditation. So this is something that I find profound for myself while I'm doing it for already some time. I saw it as really gem, as a gift. And this as well, the chakras, the alignment is to bring unity both internally, and when you are really united, where you are in line with your inner self, you expand, you transpose into external world. Just to show you those chakras, some of you know them. We talk about chakras from the bottom. So this root chakra is Muladhara chakra, sacral chakra, it's Swadhisthana chakra, solar plexus, Manipura, heart chakra, Anahata, throat chakra, Vishuddha, third eye chakra, Anja, and crown chakra, Sahasrara. And this is this standard tradition of chakras. In some of the texts of masters, they consider as well the chakras on the back, the 4 additional chakras, to be the interesting ones for that purpose. And this is what I want to show you. This is what I have been blessed to receive, and I've been blessed as well to show you a bit more details. That right now I am sure, and I can this resonates with me very much, is that our life is our hero's journey through chakras, through alignment of those all chakras, because they are not only focusing on all the aspects of us as human beings. If you consider what each chakra has, what it focuses on, what it in terms of the physical aspect of us, so the body, and in terms of mental aspect and spiritual aspect, the chakras are the map of life. And the intuition is your guide. The chakras from root, base chakra, through sacral chakra, solar plexus chakra, heart chakra, throat chakra, third eye chakra, to the crown chakra. This is so interesting to see that this major human journey that we are all about to progress on is the path of chakras. It starts from the very bottom to the top, but sometimes we are already, some of those chakras might be in balance. Some of other chakras might not be in balance, and this is about having balance in all of them, not necessarily by readjusting single ones, but as well there are ways that just work on all of them. One of them is really love, feeling love to everything, including yourself. Just to show you as well those functionalities of chakras, just really quickly, this root chakra, base chakra, is considered really the basis of security, safety, our survival instincts, stability, ambition, self-sufficiency, as well the sense of grounding, physicality, physical identity aspects, basic needs, so food, sleep, shelter, self-preservation, support and foundations for living our lives. Those are those focus points of this chakra. As well, it has some aspects about the organs that it is connected to, things like this, but I will expand that on those detailed chakras talks. But as well, in here you see how this chakra influences yourself when you are in balance and you are out of balance. So in balanced state, you feel stable, you feel confident, you feel balanced, you feel energetic, independent and strong. So like standing strong and really being self-confident in this state. Imbalance is feeling unstable, ungrounded, having lack of ambition, of purpose, being fearful, feeling insecure or frustrated. The sacral chakra is about emotions, about feelings, about relationships, about expression of sexuality, the sensual pleasure as well, feeling the outer and inner worlds. It's about creativity, about fantasies, about self-worth. In balanced state, you are more vibrant, you are happy, positive, satisfied, compassionate, intuitive. In imbalanced state of this chakra, usually you are emotionally explosive, you are irritable, you have sense of lack of energy, of creativity, you feel manipulative, so you sense in every situation that you've been manipulated to really do something for someone. You are always, the victim. Sometimes you are obsessed with sexual thoughts as well. This chakra is about. Additionally, further up, so in here is this solar plexus chakra, which is as well considered, it's around navel area. It's considered like the connection points of all the other chakras. So it's quite interesting in those terms. It's like what has been mentioned as well is that this seppuku in traditional Japanese samurai tradition was the process where this master knew how to commit it without feeling anything, because it's all those this is the connection point of all the nerves, so that the process was like feelingless. So, but this is just the concept of how it works in Japanese tradition. In here we want to show as well those elements that are really around the solar plexus that are working, as you see, quite a lot of them. It's connected to will and personal power. It's personal identity, personality, making decisions, setting the direction, mental abilities, the intellect as well. It's said to be in here most of the times. Is like this is the energy center that is for that purpose, taking responsibility for one's life, taking control, forming personal opinions and beliefs, self-assurance, confidence, but as well aggression, anger, ego, but positive as well, like self-discipline, clarity of judgments, and independence. And balanced state, more energetic, confident, productive, focused. The imbalanced state can manifest in both on emotional level and physical. On physical, digestive problems, liver problems, diabetes, and on emotional level, depression, lack of self-esteem, anger, and perfectionism. Perfectionism is located in this chakra. The heart chakra, so the chakra that is in here, not necessarily when the physical heart is interesting chakra that is said to be the chakra that is intermediary between the physical aspect, so lower chakras, and higher chakras. In here it's meant to be the seat of balance, the ability to grieve and reach peace, the space of forgiveness, acceptance, the center of awareness, integration of insights, the center of love for oneself and others, the center for compassionate discernment, for passion, for attachment, for relating, as well relationships on heart level, compassion, empathy, and interesting, transformation, change, as well trust. Transformation, change, interesting in those terms that this is one of the gateways for you to transform, where when your focus just chooses the heart chakra that is meant to be the location where you want to serve, this serving center to others. When it's in balance, you are more compassionate, more caring, optimistic, friendly, motivated. But imbalance brings anger, lack of trust, anxiety, jealousy, fear, and moodiness. So chakra that is located in the throat, that you hear sometimes during this talk, is that chakra that is really considered the chakra that focuses on you to just navigate you to spirituality. Its expression, in particular, the ability to express your truth, speak out, connection with the etheric realm, the more subtle realms of spirit and intuitive abilities, communication, whether it's verbal or non-verbal, external or internal, willingness to create, projecting ideas and blueprints into reality, realizing your vocation, purpose, inspiration, faith, and good sense of timing. Balanced enables creativity, positive self-expression, constructive communication, sense of satisfaction. Imbalance, timidity, quietness, feeling of weakness, inability to express our thoughts. So the third eye chakra is the one higher, the one for intuition, the visions, the perception of subtle dimensions and movements of energy, the psychic abilities related to clairvoyance and clairaudience especially, motivates inspiration and creativity, access to mystical states, illumination, connection to wisdom, insight, and self-knowledge. This is this center that usually is considered in meditation practices as the center that you would focus on, really to just go into this more meditative state, this the higher consciousness state. As well, you see this balanced state, the more vibrant state, more the confident state, the both spiritually and emotionally confident, and in the absence of fear of death, one becomes his own masters and remains free of all attachment to material things. Imbalance is the feeling of non-assertiveness, being afraid of success. It can make you as well more egoistical, the imbalance. In the physical realm, you can have headaches, you can have blurry vision, you can have eye strain. And this last chakra, last but not least, because as well maybe in the future I will show you how these chakras in these other realms work, because usually the last chakra on the specific realm is the first chakra in another realm. After crown chakra there is considered another one that is already connected to higher realms, but that might be the talk for another time. But in here you can see that this crown chakra is the center of spirituality, enlightenment, dynamic thought, energy, cosmic consciousness, communion with higher states of consciousness, and awareness of higher consciousness, wisdom of what is sacred, connection with the formless, the limitless, realization, liberation from limiting patterns, presence, ecstasy and bliss. Imbalance, one might suffer from constant sense of frustration, melancholy and destructive feelings. So this is what I wanted to show about chakras, and this would be the last 2 or 3 slides, short ones, about what I discovered just comparing the two concepts. So hero's journey is canvas for self-improvement. Hero's journey forces the character to disconnect from the physical aspect to pursue the unknown. Hero's journey forms a cycle of growth. Hero's journey highlights courage as the starting point. Chakras, to function properly, need to be in alignment. Out of balance chakras need to be worked on to get back into balance. Lower, this physical dimension related chakras are keeping individual story in physical body and mind aspects. Heart chakra is the source of the transformation, and when working properly enables move out of this physical only needs. Proper alignment of lower chakras enables journey to expand on higher levels. Reaching out higher spiritual aspects lets great speed up of the growth of lower ones. So really, if you are on high spiritual vibrations already with chakras, your growth of the lower ones, the rest will speed up considerably. Why is it so important? Because if you consider chakras and if you consider human journey, on all of those levels of chakras, you would have either human journey, human hero's journey, or human hero journeys, just to balance those chakras. All your life that goes through those chakras to the top as the core human journey would require you to work on the imbalanced chakras, would give you the tasks, the experiences that let you grow on those aspects of yourself that you need to grow on. For root chakra, for sacral, for solar, for heart chakra, for throat, for third eye and crown chakra, all those might require this cycles of hero's journey to go from status quo, so imbalance, to new status quo, lower imbalance or balance. And additionally, what you see in here is that usually this hero's journey cycle might as well consider not only specific chakras, but as well the realm that you are living in. So this physical aspect, which is considered those bottom 3 chakras, this threshold and trials aspect that might be considered the heart chakra, but heart chakra might as well have different perspectives. It's like a mediary between one and the other. So this is really this threshold line that is the heart chakra. When you land in the heart, you already start to see more. When you go out of heart into physical aspect, you are going back really to this physical journey. And this last journey is the spiritual aspect, hero's journey cycle. This growing your spiritual self, getting to be more and more aware about your true self, about your spirituality, about your growth, about where you are. As well, the chakras and the hero's journey are the great guides for showing you where you are. With that, thank you very much for your patience, for sitting here 1 hour and a half already. We can consider those 6 minutes really to to be like a let's say warm up minutes. Thank you very much for participation. I hope you got some value out of this. I would say for me it's profound knowledge that has been highlighted. If it resonates with you, it's great. If it does not resonate, keep it in the back of your head, because in some time it might start to resonate. Be prepared that when you start to see yourself or feel yourself going into spirituality, probably those steps would be familiar to you. You will start to see those patterns, but seeing those patterns, it's not only for just improving your journey, it's most of the times to reassure your mind, your mental aspect that you are on a safe path, that you can grow in spirituality, and you can be assured that you will be safe from this mental perspective, that the mind will not block you from growing even more, for recognizing what's more waiting for you in this spiritual realm. So thank you very much for the session today, and I invite you already to the session next week. We will check about the timings, but next week I want to just show you a couple of examples out of my story about the hero's journey. We will check if we will add as well the stories from chakras perspectives, but that will be highlighted for the next week. So thank you very much. Enjoy the evening, enjoy your weekend, and see you next time. Bye.